You pay a gym membership to run on a machine for an hour, only to sit at a desk for the rest of the day. For 99% of human history, exercising for its own sake would have seemed completely insane to your ancestors. But beneath your modern exhaustion, your bones still carry the ancient blueprint of an apex endurance predator. Every day, millions of people force themselves onto treadmills, lifting heavy iron plates just to stay basically healthy. We treat physical movement as a chore, a scheduled task we have to quickly squeeze into our busy lives. You probably feel guilty when you skip a workout, silently blaming yourself for being lazy or lacking discipline. But evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman points out a fundamental truth. Humans never actually evolved to exercise voluntarily. In the ancient world, wasting calories on pointless movement could literally mean starvation during a harsh, freezing winter. Your ancient ancestors only moved when they absolutely had to, either to find food or avoid becoming food. Yet, despite having no gyms and no strict workout routines, prehistoric humans achieved incredible levels of physical fitness. Their bones were denser, their muscles were highly adapted, and their cardiovascular health remained pristine deep into old age. So, if they weren't doing burpees or lifting heavy rocks for fun, how did they become the ultimate survival athletes? The answer lies in the harsh reality of their daily routine, where every single calorie had to be earned. They didn't need to work out because their entire existence was a brutal, non-stop physical endurance test. To understand this incredible ancient fitness, we have to look at how your prehistoric body was originally designed. If you put a prehistoric human next to a modern athlete, the ancient hunter probably wouldn't win a short sprint. We aren't incredibly fast, and we certainly don't have the raw, crushing muscle strength of a chimpanzee or gorilla. Instead, humans evolved a completely different, terrifyingly effective superpower: extreme, relentless long-distance endurance running. While most animals quickly overheat and collapse after a short sprint, your ancestors evolved millions of tiny sweat glands. This unique cooling system allowed ancient humans to run safely in the blistering midday heat when other predators rested. This hunting strategy wasn't about catching prey quickly. It was entirely about never, ever stopping. You would track an animal, jogging steadily behind it for hours, pushing it forward until it simply died of heat exhaustion. It sounds absolutely exhausting to modern ears, running a half marathon just to secure your dinner for the day. But your foot arches, your thick Achilles tendons, and your glutes are still perfectly engineered for this exact task. You are literally born to walk and run. Your body is a highly efficient machine built for endless miles of motion. Modern studies on remaining hunter-gatherer groups show they easily walk up to 10 miles every single day, completely naturally. They climb trees, dig deep into the earth for tubers, and carry heavy loads back to camp without any fitness trackers. This constant, low-level physical activity keeps their hearts incredibly strong and their bodies perfectly lean deep into old age. With all this daily movement, you might logically assume they burn thousands of calories, more than a modern office worker. But this is exactly where modern science discovered one of the most shocking and counterintuitive twists in human biology. Anthropologist Herman Pontzer spent years deeply studying the Hadza, a traditional hunter-gatherer community living in East Africa. He carefully measured exactly how many calories they burned while walking, hunting, and foraging from early dawn until dusk. The initial expectation was obvious. These highly active people must burn significantly more energy than an average sedentary adult. But the final results completely shattered everything we confidently thought we knew about human metabolism and physical exercise. The Hadza, despite their extreme physical activity, burn roughly the exact same number of daily calories as you do. How is that even possible? How can a dedicated hunter burn the exact same energy as someone sitting entirely still? Your body is a ruthless, brilliant energy manager. It has a strict daily calorie budget that it fiercely protects. When ancient humans spend heavy energy on walking and hunting, their bodies subtly cut invisible physiological costs in other areas. The brain reduces baseline inflammation, dials down background stress, and safely suppresses unnecessary immune responses to save precious fuel. Meanwhile, your sedentary modern body, with no physical outlet, wastes those exact same calories on high stress and chronic inflammation. This means you can't simply out-exercise a bad modern diet, because your body will eventually cap your daily energy burn. Ancient humans didn't stay lean because they burned infinite calories. They stayed lean because they simply couldn't access excess food. Their fitness wasn't about extreme calorie burning. It was about how efficiently their bodies utilized that energy for constant motion. But if our metabolism hasn't changed at all, exactly when did our physical strength and bone density begin to plummet? The answer isn't the recent invention of the office chair. The real physical decline started thousands of years earlier. Roughly 12,000 years ago, humans made a collective choice that permanently altered the internal structure of our skeletons. We stopped chasing our wild food across the savanna and started planting it safely in the ground. We invented agriculture. Farming eventually provided a massive surplus of easily accessible calories, allowing human populations to explode and cities to rise. But archaeological records reveal a dark secret. Early farmers were actually significantly smaller and weaker than their hunter-gatherer ancestors. Their fossilized bones show clear, undeniable signs of repetitive stress injuries, rampant tooth decay, and severe nutritional deficiencies. Instead of walking 10 varied miles a day through wild terrain, farmers performed grueling, repetitive labor in tiny, static fields. The human skeleton, originally built for dynamic, fluid movement and endurance running, began to rapidly atrophy from a narrowed range of motion. Civilization brought wonderful safety from predators and guaranteed food, but it locked our versatile bodies into unnatural, rigid routines. Fast forward to today, and the modern digital world has taken this sedentary physical trap to an absolute, extreme maximum. You now spend hours hunched over a glowing screen, barely moving your legs, while consuming highly processed, calorie-dense foods. Your deep biology expects you to be hiking across wild landscapes, but modern society strictly demands you sit perfectly still. This massive evolutionary mismatch is exactly why your lower back aches, your joints constantly pop, and your muscles feel incredibly tight. We essentially built a world of absolute comfort, effectively engineering natural physical effort entirely out of our daily existence. But unfortunately, nobody told your ancient DNA that the ruthless rules of physical survival have completely changed, which leaves us with one ultimate question. Why does your brain actively fight you every single time you try to exercise? Your brain actively fights you because, from an evolutionary perspective, burning calories without a clear survival reward is a terrible, reckless idea. For a prehistoric hunter, going for a 10-mile jog just for fun would be a fast track to absolute starvation. Your ancient biology operates on a very simple rule. If you don't need to move to survive, sit down and save your energy. This deep-seated instinct to rest whenever possible is exactly the superpower that kept your ancestors alive through brutal winters and terrible famines. But today, you live in an entirely artificial environment where high-calorie food is constantly available with zero physical effort required. We have engineered walking, lifting, and carrying completely out of our daily routines, replacing them with cars, elevators, and delivery apps. Because of this mismatch, your perfectly logical ancient instinct to rest and conserve energy is now the exact thing slowly destroying your health. You aren't fundamentally lazy, and you don't lack willpower. You are simply a perfectly adapted ancient survivor trapped in a comfortable cage. The modern gym isn't some ultimate peak of human civilization. It is simply a desperate, artificial replacement for the lost wild savanna. We literally have to pay monthly subscriptions to trick our prehistoric bodies into doing the work our environment used to force upon us. So the next time you feel completely drained, guilty about skipping a workout, or struggle to get off the comfortable couch, remember that your brain is just trying to save you from a harsh prehistoric winter that is never actually going to come. You don't need to fight your biology with guilt. You just need to recognize the trap and choose to keep moving. Because you might pay a gym membership to run on a machine for an hour, only to sit at a desk. But remember, beneath that modern exhaustion, your ancient bones were built to relentlessly chase down mammoths and conquer the entire world.